Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and whoever's out there to our $2, where we are going to talk to you about a lot today, aren't we, Carly?
Yeah, we have quite a few topics, I feel like.
All right. Erica is sick today, so it's just Jetty, me, and
Carly,
Carly.
me.
Yeah, so places you can find us if you are watching or just want to listen. YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts.
Good job, you got them all. Do you have
Yeah,
a list in front of you?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I,
That
I
makes me feel
have the
better.
I have the agenda, yeah, so hopefully. But all right, well, I guess let's start it off with our sponsors. Well, do we kind of have a sponsor this week for our giveaway? Are we announcing that?
I don't know if we have, I don't think it's an official sponsor necessarily, but my husband did give us a tumbler from Trophy Outlet
Yes.
for,
Okay.
and you have a picture you're gonna insert,
Yeah,
or do
actually,
you
yeah,
have it
I'm
with
gonna
you?
yeah, so
Perfect. Okay.
yeah,
So yeah,
so
so we have another
we
giveaway.
yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway. So we'll probably figure out what we're gonna do this week, and kind of announce like how you can become eligible to do this giveaway. So seeing how like way back when we talked about the porch goose, because Eric and I are kind of the porch goose club. Um, so we thought it would be fun to kind of give something away in that regard. So uh, Carly's husband did make us this super cute, very pretty tumbler. I feel like my coloring is off. I'm off today, so I'm at home, and so that's kind of why I
Yeah, it's
look
like
like
a
this.
lavender, like springy. I picked like a springy color, and then it is a
Yeah,
goose in a rain jacket.
yeah, and it says Silly Goose Club. And along with that, because the porch geese are too big or whatever to kind of give away, we are also going to give away a little desk goose that he's magnet here. He can hold your key. I have one at my office and it holds my name badge when I'm not there. So you'll get this and the cup in our giveaway. So we'll figure out, put something together, put that on Facebook and get that going. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, what do we have in store today, Miss Carly? We're going to
We're gonna
talk
talk
about, go ahead.
a little bit about the storm last night.
Yes.
Also about how women think differently than men in certain scenarios, based
Okay.
on something that happened to me during my walk this weekend.
Okay.
And what do you have?
Yeah. So I thought we would talk a little bit about Coachella because that's kind of like all over everything. And I can't say that it's something that I would love to go to, but definitely there is an artist there this year that I would love to see. So we'll talk a little bit about that on kind of when I do my I don't know. I was like going through name ideas of I'm a big celebrity gossip person, so I've told you this before and kind of talked about it on here that that's kind of my role. I want to like incorporate some of that because I love the skinny on the celebrities and
I
my
do feel
friend
like you
always
always know the stuff. You always know
yeah,
all the stuff.
my friend always thinks it's funny because I am just like I don't know, celebrity like I ooh and ah over them or something. If there was a celebrity on the sidewalk, I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's whatever." But I don't know. I
I'm
think it's
surprised
cool.
you didn't
So,
drive down to Keokuk when the Beebs stayed in that mansion.
oh my god. So yeah, yeah. So I totally wanted to. My best friend at the time had a boat, and I was like, I
Oh
need
my
somebody to take
gosh.
me out on the river because I knew like you wouldn't be able to get to the house, but like from
Right.
the river you could maybe see the pool. So yeah, totally wanted to do that, and that was because I thought this was meant to be. This was meant to be the day that I
Everything's
w-
about Jenny.
Meant Justin Bieber. Well, what's the odds? I mean, and let me just clarify, I am a believer from way back, but I feel like it's not I was never, like, crushing on Justin Bieber, I just, like,
You
loved
liked his music.
his music, yeah. And, yeah, so kinda like the Hannah Montana thing, it was around Kelsey's time where she kind of liked him, and then I liked him, and then she grew out of it, and I didn't, so that's cool, so
Yeah.
anyways, all right, so we're gonna talk about Coachella or Bieberchella, as people are calling it, and then we
Any people
will
besides you calling it that,
yeah,
or
actually
okay,
probably yeah, it's all over TikTok. Okay, that's where I've got it. And
okay.
actually,
I don't have
just
the beats in my feed. I mean, I don't.
yeah, Justin
Whatever.
and Haley's little boy, Jack, I think it's Jack, uh, he had Bieberchella little stamp on his hand too, like when he was there.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah. Um Okay, and then we'll do Carly's Love It or Leave It. Uh, I'm excited about this because you didn't give me the 411 on this ahead of time. So,
Yeah, because I didn't know until like about 10 minutes ago.
okay,
So
gotcha. And then we have the topic out of our ass, which we don't have the ass today. We can just be the asses. Erica did send us something
yes.
from her unwellness, and we'll talk about that. So, let's kick this off with do you want to talk about the tornado sirens last
Yes, let's
night?
talk about the tornado. So did you first of all, did the tornado sirens go off at your house? We don't
No.
live by
Well,
each other.
yeah, we live in the country, so we don't really hear sirens when they go off.
Sure.
I was actually laying in our like ginormous, it's I don't know, it's for humans, but it's kind of like a big dog bed. And I
Okay.
was just like scrolling on Facebook and I just like seen like all these people from like different towns, Hamilton, Keokuk, Montrose, Fort Madison, Donaldson, and they're like, the sirens are going off, the sirens are going off. And I'm like, how are the sirens going off in all of these places? Like, they only go
Yeah.
off when there's a tornado sighted, is what I thought. And I was like, okay, it's going off in Donaldson. I live close to there. And so I was like, messaging my sisters, I'm like, why are the sirens going off? And they're like, because there was a tornado warning. I'm like, well, I know, but like, where's it at? Because I couldn't find it anywhere, like,
Yeah,
no
did you? I never
warnings.
heard like where there was one.
No, and my phone's well, I think it was coming from like I heard Warsaw to like Keokuk. I don't know. My sister said there was just like rotation scenes in some places is why they did that. But
Okay.
anyways, so we just and really it wasn't even like storming at the time when I kind of seen all this happening. Like it had storm prior to that. But anyways, so yeah, about that time I think we messaged something about the podcast today, and you were like, remind me to tell you what Chris did when the sirens went off. So now I've been
Yes.
like waiting.
Okay, so to preface this, my daughter is almost 12 and she is frightened of storms for an unknown reason. She's never had storm trauma. My husband and I are not scared of storms. We don't act scared of storms in front of her, but she has always been scared of storms to the point that, like, up until not that long ago, she would like sleep in my bed with me if it was storming because she was just so scared she couldn't sleep. So we're watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, which, by the way,
Oh,
we love. So thanks for the recommendation. We're
okay.
watching
Well,
that,
are
and
you team Jeremiah or team
listen,
Conrad?
right now I'm not Team Conrad. We're in the beginning of season 2, and he's being a jerk.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't
Heather
know if I'm really
was.
Team Jeremiah either, to be honest. I just don't know. I love
Yeah.
him. Like I think he's so cute, but I don't know if I really love them as a like permanent couple. Um, I really liked Cam Cameron, honestly. So, um,
Really, that fits. I feel like this is
yeah,
someone that you would like. Yeah.
just he was a nice kid. He was a nice kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were watching that and it was storming a little bit, but not like bad. And then my phone went off, tornado warning, and Caroline's like, which one is that? The watch or the warning? I'm like, it's the warning. It means that they spotted a tornado somewhere. So, we need to go downstairs. We'll go watch this in the basement. No big deal. We'll just go to the basement, watch it. So we're like getting up to walk to the basement and the sirens start going off. Caroline's like, what is that? Freaking out. I think this is the first time. that she's ever gone down to the basement for sirens at our house since she's been like maybe old enough to remember it. I don't know. It hasn't happened that much in her lifetime, I don't feel like. And so she's already like real keyed up, okay? And all of a sudden we hear this ah, followed by the fastest stairs noise I've ever heard, okay? Apparently, Chris thought this would be a fun time to make a joke about the tornado warning and decides to run down to the basement full speed ahead, screaming, oh, like he's scared. But we are behind like two doors, right? So all we hear is screaming and a lot of noise on the stairs. I go running. I'm like, Chris, are you okay? Did you fall? And he's not answering, probably because he couldn't hear me. And I go to open the door and I'm like, are you okay? And he's just standing down there like a jackass. And he's like, yeah, I was just screaming. Caroline, bawling, starts hyperventilating, is on the dining room floor, hands over her. She is doing this, just bawling, crying her eyes out because she thought he fell down the stairs. He came
Gosh.
in, he starts to console her, and then all of a sudden I hear her go, why would you do that? And she ran into her room and slammed the door. She was just
Parent
so
fail.
scared that it upset her. And I was like, I'll go. And he's like, no, it's my fault. I'll go in. So I'm like, well, let her know I'm going to go downstairs and turn this show on. And it took him like 5 minutes to get her calmed down and bring her down. The whole time the sirens are going off. And I want to be like, you guys, you're going to have to resolve this in the basement. Like, this is not a let's just take our time situation. So
Right.
anyway, that's that's what happened
So
with that. Chris
so
wrecked
Chris, you just
it.
added to your daughter's trauma. Way to go.
Yes, he did.
Parent
Absolutely.
Parent of the Week award goes to Chris.
Yeah.
All right. That's
And
great.
also, our
Well,
mayor accidentally set off the test siren instead of the regular siren. And so it was doing the tornado siren, and then it would go on a voice and say, this is a test in the middle of what was supposedly a tornado. So
oh, nice.
everyone was
Nice.
dogging on him on the Facebook community page for that, I guess.
Oh, well, shit happens, I guess.
Yeah.
At least there was some sirens, I
Yes.
don't know.
Better that than nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I mean, I personally don't go to the basement much. I like to I like to get a front seat view until I know it's
You
coming
would.
towards me.
You're out there
Uh
taking pictures. I can see it.
yeah, I'm just like, "Oh, wow." Yeah, I have lots of tornado stories that are real funny, but anyways, I have a question for you though, Carly, in regards to last week's episode. Did you receive any clippings in the mail?
No, and don't bring it up again. I don't want that to happen. And I'm afraid the more we mention it, the more likely it is to happen. No,
So
I did not.
Bill, my husband, listened and thought that was funny. And he has, again, the most disgusting toes I've ever seen, and his toenails are even worse. And he was like looking for the toenail clippers the other day, and he was like, "Do you want to send these to Carly?" And I'm like, "No,
Don't
she
do it.
would like
Please
be
don't do it.
so mad at me." I'm
I
like,
would
I
be
would
so
never.
upset.
Yeah, no, I would never do
So
that. But
upset.
it was kind of funny. I did laugh about that, but
Well, thanks, Bill, for not sending me your nasty fungus.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, yeah, so you messaged me, was it last weekend when you were on a walk and you were like, what'd you say? If I go
Oh,
missing, this is
yeah.
what was going on. And this kind of led to some things that we were
The
like,
topic.
yeah,
So I was walking the dogs, broad daylight. What was it, Sunday morning?
I
Saturday
think so.
morning? I don't
Yeah.
remember. Anyway, two cars passed me by on the road. First, a white Jeep with Iowa plates, and then a white truck with Iowa plates. The white truck stopped in the middle of the road and honked several times, but doesn't like roll the window down. It's nobody that I know unless I do know them and I couldn't recognize them in their truck. Um, they didn't say anything. I have no idea why they honked at me. So at first I'm like, oh, they think I'm somebody else. I had on a hat and sunglasses. Maybe they think I'm somebody else. Then they get to the end of the road and they turn and they park on the side of the road. and they're like staring at me for a little bit and then they drive off. So that already got me a little bit like, what's going on? That was weird. But for the most part, I was like, all right, they just thought I was somebody else, realized I wasn't, drove away. But then I get to the park and the white Jeep is there, stopped by like the barn there. There's a place to make payments for like the campers and stuff. They are in that mailbox, kind of looking at me, and I just keep walking through the park. And then they start slowly driving through the park, pulling over every now and again, but clearly like following the path that I'm following, and would like pull over park and then they drive really slow and then pull over park. And there was nobody else really around in the park at this time. And so as a woman and a person with anxiety, both, I'm like, what the hell is happening here? One, was this truck honking actually like signaling this is the person to kidnap
Right.
and they're actually
Right.
together, right?
Yeah.
And two, is
Someone
this
cuts
Jeep
up in
gonna,
the leaves and they're like,
you know? And then two, am I gonna get kidnapped? But also,
yeah,
I have two dogs with me. I mean, maybe they know my dogs are just actually really lovable, even though they jump. But I'm like, surely not. But I took a completely different way home than what I ever take. The entire rest of the walk, I was like looking behind my shoulder. I most definitely Snapchatted you and one other person saying, if I go missing, it's a white Jeep with Iowa plates that did it. Um, because yeah, I feel like somebody needs to know because just people go missing all the time.
yeah,
And I think as a woman, you think about these things more. So yeah, I asked Chris when I got home, like, what would you do in that situation? He's like, I don't know, just keep walking and assume they thought they knew me. And that was
yeah,
it, you know? And I'm like, well, cool, good for you. I thought I was gonna get murdered.
yeah,
Have you had situations like that? Do you feel like?
yeah. I mean, I know I have because I'm pretty aware, I feel like when I'm by myself of watching um my surroundings and stuff, and I can't remember any specific times, but like specific activities besides when me and my friend went to New York. I feel like when I was a little more hyper aware there, just because obviously fish out of the water, and then there's a lot of people on the streets, there,
Sure.
and a lot of drug use, and you walk that you do a lot of walking there. And so our hotel was a little bit further away, kind of than the main areas we were visiting. And I just remember, like, trying to keep with, like, a pack of people when they were walking, like, to our
Right.
hotel, and then we would get to, like, a stoplight, and they would go the opposite direction, and then it would just be us, and I was just, like, always, like, I feel like kinda, like, walking around or whatever, or I would put something between my fingers, like
Yes,
the
like your
keys or
keys, like
something,
yes.
yeah, and stuff. And I mean, I will say too, I was floored at this. Because I was thinking today, what experiences, and I mean, different experiences, but I will say that one thing that was really prevalent that still sticks on my mind, and I'm not going to say the number right on this, but when we did our college uh, visit at the University of Iowa, and the parents go to classes and the kids go attend these things, and there was one place where it was like a parents one, and they were talking about like sexual assaults like on campuses, and I don't know, I feel like it was like 1 in 20 women, or I mean, I don't, it wasn't all just women, but mostly like females, would be somehow sexually assaulted on the campus in their 4 years there. I just kinda left there, and I was just like, and kinda all the parents were the same way, would just like, "Oh my god," and there was just signs up, like, all over the place, and I mean, I know that it's a college campus and that stuff happens, but I was really shocked at, like, that number, and
At the
I'll
number,
have to
yeah.
look it again, but the number was just, like, eye-opening, and then I got real nervous because 'cause I'm like, "God, we're paying thousands of dollars, to
Right.
send our kids here and stuff," but, um, I don't know, some I worry obviously about my daughter more so, like, in
Yeah,
the city, like, going to the bars and walking home at night and stuff like that, but I
absolutely.
hope I hope I've drilled into her things, but, yeah, I mean, definitely it is scary, I feel like more so as a woman, maybe men, though, you just don't see, things really about men being, abducted or taken or
Yeah, and they
uh,
are, but just not as much.
yeah. And yeah, I feel
Um,
like my husband's naive about that stuff too, but no, locally, like I know a lot of things pop up on like Facebook as like I was in Walmart today and this
well, I think a
person
lot of
followed me.
that's fake.
I do too, because I mean I've never really experienced anything like that. But I mean I do say I'm a little bit of aware of my surroundings, but not really as much as I am if I'm out somewhere like that I'm not aware of, or like if I'd be walking by myself somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll walk the dog at night and like if I am walking alone with the dogs at night, then like a man is coming up the other way, I'll start saying to the dogs like, "Okay, you be nice now." Like, basically saying like, "Yeah, try to come at me. My dogs are mean."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I saw this study recently from BYU that they tracked eye movements of men and women looking at like this pathway down campus and where they looked the most. And it was so interesting because the men all looked at like either straight ahead on the path or like a garbage can or a light or whatever it was. And most of the women looked at like the bushes behind the tree. It was all like all the women were looking at the surrounding areas that were not well lit. And the men were just looking straight forward. And I just do feel like that's kind of the life we live. Like we're constantly on our guard and thinking like, you know, how to best be on defense almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, what when you're walking and stuff, you're supposed to only have one headphone in or something like that so you can hear your surroundings. And so definitely, yeah, I think it'd be fun and something to for everyone to do is take like a safety class or,
Like
self-defense class
self-defense.
someday.
I think that would be fun too.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to
We should figure
look
that
into
out. Yeah, we'll look it
yeah.
up and then we can talk about our experiences. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come in with broken arms to the next podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's fun.
Well,
Well,
tell me,
everyone, yeah, be
yeah,
safe out there. Be
yes, please
aware.
be safe.
Yes.
Tell me about the Bieberchella or whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah, Bieberchella. So the first week, so they do it in like 2 weekends, and last weekend was the first weekend. And so the headliners for Coachella, I think Friday night it was Sabrina Carpenter. Um, and
Yeah, I just
then
see she perform.
yeah, which I've seen some of her set and like I think it was very creative and good. And there was a lot of controversy between like Bieber's set and hers because hers was like very kind of theatrical, planned out, thoughtful, very Taylor-esque, I mean,
Yeah,
she
I
kind
feel
of
like
learned
Sabrina
from the
does do that
best.
kind of stuff. Yeah, she
Yeah.
makes a production. It's a production.
Yeah. And then Bieber comes out and like surfs the web like live, sitting there and like playing some of his old songs and like kind of sang to it. And people were like, he got paid $10 million to basically surf the internet. And I agree, it could have been done like a little bit better as far as like maybe someone else was searching the stuff up and putting it up and he was singing versus waiting for him to do that, which is probably going to be what it looks like now as I like play these clips and stuff. But I will tell you, I'm excited for what this weekend will be because I feel like the clips and different videos I've seen of him, it like started out where he was kind of like singing along and then he was like, and there's a lot of these videos where they're like, "Oh, he realized he's Justin Bieber," and, like, he starts singing like Justin Bieber again. And so the one clip is that well, I think not the first clip, but the second clip is him so I'm gonna try and play this, like, live here. Um,
Thing he did the whole time?
well, no, he didn't do it the whole
Okay.
time. So then he went ahead and then he played this. And this is kind of the oh, hold Kelsey just got home.
See?
She can't hear you. The dogs are freaking out
Yeah.
because Kelsey just got home. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, excited about Bieberchella again. I'm curious to what he'll do if he'll do the same thing this week. there was one where he's singing Daisy and he just looks so happy and he's like does the heart hands and I was just like, "Oh my gosh." And I seen something where Haley Bieber was like, "It's taken so long to get to this point because he's like went through so much mentally and stuff that she was just so happy about that." So yeah, there's Bieberchella.
Okay.
And then this week they someone went out and they're adding Casey Musgraves. So she got added to the Coachella list. Yeah, so
Exciting. It'll be
yeah.
nice for her since she has that new album coming out.
Yes. So I'll be excited to see those things there. But all right, well, what's your love it or leave it this week?
Okay, it's actually been on display this entire time. These
Mm,
headphones. Okay, so mainly I was talking about this with a patient yesterday. Or no, was it a patient? I don't know who it was. But basically, I always have used AirPods prior to recently. The very first iteration of AirPods fit my ears really well and stayed in really well. Then I got the Pros, which the sound quality was great, but they did not have good retention in my ears. Then my dog ate one of those, or maybe that was the time that I threw up and it fell in the toilet. I can't remember. One of them got forever ruined. And so then I went back to like the regular AirPods, but they were like next generation of what I originally had. And they just don't stay in my ears.
yeah.
And I like to do yoga and I need something that's going to stay in my ears. I have over the ear headphones that are like sound cords, like generic Beats or something, that I actually really like the sound quality of, and they were not that expensive. They were like maybe 40 bucks. But again, I don't like doing yoga in those. So I got these and they are by JLab. They come in this little case. One of the main features I love is that it has the cord built in to the case. So
Okay.
you never have to be searching for the cord. Um, and they wrap around my ear. And I do have really small ears, and they're still comfortable, even though my ears are small. So that's
Okay.
nice. They have good charge. They're Bluetooth. They come in a variety of colors. And I got them on sale. They're not very expensive. They're way cheaper than AirPods. I did have to mess with the sound on the app. I had to change there's like an equalizer. I did have to change that to get a good sound. It needed a lot more bass. I think because some sounds like leaking out. They're not like a super tight fit because of how they fit.
Yeah.
And so I did have to change that. But once I did that, they've been sounding pretty good. So that's
Yes.
my love it for the week.
Okay.
JLab Go Sport earphones.
An audiologist, what do you think about the bone conduction ones? Have you ever tried those?
I actually haven't ever tried them, but I think they're great for like runners, bikers, or like you talk about being more aware. If you are somebody, I don't usually use headphones on my walks. Um,
Yeah.
but if you're on a walk alone and you want to be able to be more aware of your surrounding, that is an excellent way. So like those, I think they're called aftershocks, the bone conduction headphones. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I I don't know though. I tried Dr. Berg's one time and they just didn't I couldn't hear right out of them. I think I have a bone conduction hearing loss.
If you have a bone conduction hearing loss, then you're not going to hear as well with air conduction either. It goes hand in hand.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, thanks for that. Love it or leave it. We're gonna tag. Can we tag that in sometime?
Yep,
Okay.
I'll send a link so we can
Okay.
tag it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, our topic out of our ass today was what was it? Our favorite thing to do on lunchtime.
This, obviously. But if it's not
Yeah.
this, then go for a walk.
Okay. Yeah. I would say this or just like mindlessly scrolling on social media for me and chilling out until
I
I
don't
go back
love
to
when I
work.
do that at lunch, mostly because I feel like I look at a screen so much that it's kind of nice to have a break. I used to
Yeah.
love,
Kelsey's like, "What are you doing?
yeah,
Podcasting?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yes, yes, ma'am. I used to love when Caroline was home at lunch, like when she was real little. Calling her on my lunch break and telling her like, "Oh, how's your day?" And we talk for a minute, and we always hug through the phone. And I'd be like, "Okay, tight squeeze," and then she would go, "Oh, too tight," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Aw,
It was so cute. Oh, I miss
aw,
those days.
that is sweet. Well, yeah. So Kelsey's filming me externally probably making fun of
Okay,
me sending it to her friends.
that's
All
fine.
right.
You know what?
Yeah,
This isn't for you, Kelsey.
that's
How
exactly
about that?
right. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Spit it out.
Well, uh, anything else?
Oh my gosh, Jenny, you will not believe what's happening in front of me right now.
What?
There's a prisoner.
No. Is he picking up trash? Is he stuck to gum? Can he
No,
walk?
he's getting out of the vehicle. I think they're oh, they don't have a prisoner with them. It's just two dudes.
Oh, are they good looking?
Yeah, they
Mm,
got tactical vests on and all kinds of stuff. So I thought they were getting a prisoner out for some testing. You know how they come like they
yeah.
accompany them to the test? That's
Yeah.
what I thought was happening. Nope,
Uh,
false alarm. Just two dude bags.
oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
Okay, I gotta go to
Carly,
work now.
yeah. Carly's got to go back to work. I'm gonna go get my hair cut here in a little bit.
Joy,
Mhm.
I was supposed to get my hair cut tonight, and then now we're doing something with Chris's family for Caroline's birthday tonight. We're going to dinner,
Oh,
so
nice. Well,
I had to
tell
reschedule.
Caroline happy early birthday. That's next week, right?
Well, yep, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna be doing our giveaway,
yes.
and we will catch you next week. And maybe I'll get to recap Bieberchella again.
Maybe you'll get flown out there somehow.
Oh, I don't. That seems like real hot and sandy and
I
and
agree. It doesn't sound like the
sweaty
best time.
and a lot of like
Yeah,
shrooms, and I'm just not into any of that really. But
yeah, I agree.
anyways, all right. Well,
All right,
everyone enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week, and thanks for listening to our $2.
take it or leave it. Right?
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. Oh, I just did a really cool move I wasn't planning on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.